What is up, everybody? It is Alex from Heavy New York calling from the quarantine zone again, and this time we are here with Miss Lava. Thank you guys so much for your time today. It's great to be able to talk with you.
Great to be here, man.
Yeah. So, I really want to know what the thought process was behind the making of Doom Machine. Like, how did Doom Machine sort of see the light of day? Because this is a really well-made record. I love the way that the song structures are. How did this album sort of come to be?
Go ahead, Johnny.
It's curious that you mentioned the structures because it was a big thing for us. We talk very about we need to make something new, and that was my main focus and my main concern with the band, that our songs always has the same structure. So I present the band the idea so that we can change a little bit. So thanks for noticing that. The process it's a big process. I think Rafa explains better. He has a better English than I.
We tried. Johnny was saying this about the structures, and it's true. But before that, we started jamming a lot.
Yeah.
There were a lot of, each one of us was parents. Were parents in their own time. There were 3 babies born during the process, and in the end of the process, there was a 4th baby born, Johnny's kid. So we had like different phases, like intense phases where we would rehearse a lot, and intense phases where we wouldn't rehearse because each one of us had to be at home more. And Johnny also started working in Angola, in Africa, like for longer periods. So Ricardo, the bass player, he was like, well, we're in and out of rehearsals, we should just start jamming more and not thinking so much about doing songs, just jamming and seeing what comes up in the process of jamming and recording those jams. And then we had like lots of recordings of just like jams, when we would jam, we wouldn't normally think, where will this lead us? How would this become into a song, And then when we went to play into shows, sometimes we did shows in Spain, we'd have like 9 hours drive to the show. During those hours of drive, we would put in the songs, those jams we recorded, and we would talk about them. And Johnny then came with the idea, we should try like different song structures. We shouldn't try pop structures, like this verse, chorus. And when he came with this into the dialogue, it was like, yeah, we should go where the jams normally, organically, they naturally they take us to, So I guess Doom Machine was initially born out of this, born like this, just like jams, and let's see where they take us, and let's not worry about this should be made into a normal song structure. That's what Johnny put into the process. So I guess it's like the basics of it.
Yeah. I've got many different like emotions from listening to this album. Like listening to a song like Magma versus like a song like Fourth versus a song like The Fall or Karma or Alpha. Like it seems like there was many different emotions. Is it fair to say that there was many different emotions felt that are demonstrated on this album? Like a lot of personal vibes that were being felt?
Yeah, definitely. It's just like, as you were saying, it's really different emotions because when you do it like this in the jamming process, it's not like you overthink it. It's just like it immediately comes out. Like there's this immediate link between your subconscious and what you're feeling at the time and what you start playing, because there was like 2 or 3 songs in those 15 songs that I have this idea of a riff. The rest, there was no idea, we just went into the rehearsal room and just like started playing, and that's what came out. And so I guess that's when you talk about different emotions, of course we had a tragedy. There's light and there's also darkness in this record. You know, there's was a tragedy of my kid, deceasing, and there was the light also of of him being here, of course, but of the other kids being born. So I guess all the different songs, they just like reflect that in a way. And there's like this very raw and unprocessed. There are no filters in there, it's just like those are the riffs that came when we were going through it, and I guess that's why you talk about that, why you feel like when you hear the songs about those different emotions, I guess.
Yeah. What, do you feel that maybe like lyrically or conceptually or these experiences, obviously it determines the lyrics itself in a way, but do you feel that like your experiences and the concept of both light and darkness and the tragedies that you've all faced and the the positive experiences that you've all faced, that also influences the music itself?
Johnny.
Yeah, man, for sure. When you have a tragedy like Rafa did, of course, when you come to the rehearsal room, sometimes you have very different moods. Huh? Sometimes you feel very very sad. Sometimes you feel very hopeful. So of course, when you present the riffs, you can feel that. Yeah. In terms of the lyrics, of course, it's the same. When something like that happens, you start to think, put life in perspective, and you wonder why we're acting like we are, why we have this destructive force, why don't we just give love a chance, and be kind to to one another. So of course that mixture and that roller coaster of emotions, as we write music, as we write lyrics, of course it's all that, man. It's all true emotions there.
Do you
Yeah.
like the music to be open to interpretation, or do you try to maybe have the listener feel the essence of joy or hopefulness, or maybe the essence of grief or pain that you could go through? Maybe get the listener to see.
I think it's very open for interpretation, but in my deepest hopes, I wanted people to see the light, not the darkness. I want to people relate with the darkness, but also see what we can do, and not what we can do. We're not doomed already, but we're heading to damnation. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
That's like my way of concluding this album. I feel like Doom Machine is kind of using the grief as a fuel for the quest of positivity. I feel like that
Yeah.
this has something that maybe not so much in sound really, but in terms of concept, I thought it was very similar to Yob's album Our Raw Heart, because that was written from a very dark place for the band,
Okay.
but there's also an essence of hope and overcoming tragedy and turmoil. So I feel like that this is a record that many people need, especially in today's day and age.
Yeah, man. Because of this pandemic situation, I think it's become more more actual, como é que se diz atual, more current, more.
Yeah,
Como é que se diz atual?
more in context,
Yeah.
what's happening in the world right now,
Because
it gives, more strength to the message, maybe.
Lots of people used to isolate themselves and grieve, but now everybody has to experience that, the lack of freedom. You can't do what you used to. So I think it's I like the term, but it's more. I don't go see there. I can't remember the word, but it's more suitable to the present times. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you and what's a great message I feel is like, there's one thing in life that you can't escape, and that's yourself. And I feel like the world is very much like a human right now in which we can't escape from. We are
Yeah.
part of the world, and the world can't exactly escape itself right now. I feel like that this album, like, from my interpretation of it, has an essence of confrontation, of like acceptance, if you will, which I always thought that acceptance is the hardest thing for any human to achieve. And that's what
Yeah.
I feel like it. I feel like this demonstrates the concepts of acceptance, and it's also a fun listen. I feel like it makes people have fun on this quest and this journey of acceptance as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally, man. Totally. Acceptance is key. You know, when you're in a very dark place, and when you accept what has happened, and you accept like all of it, you know, that just like it just happened. There's nothing more you could have done to change the course. That things just had to happen that way, you know. When you accept it and when you fully accept it, that's the first step for you to go into the light, you know, and to embrace hope and to start accepting that maybe you can smile tomorrow, you know. Maybe there's a different way. Maybe the world is not all bad, you know. Maybe there's a lot more to darkness, and maybe there's something else out there. And except, I think that I had never heard it better than you put it. Actually, you know, acceptance is a key in that process. You know.
Yeah.
But I have to disagree a little bit with Rafa, because acceptance in some lyrics are a critique. Yeah, because we all know what we have to do. We should preserve our nature, and we should accept that. But we do it wrong anyway. We know what to do, but we accept that the world is doomed, and we should not accept that. I think Rafa was talking more the other kind of acceptance of a loss, and that's of course makes sense. But there's lots of acceptance in this record that I don't think people should just accept our fate and should do something about it.
Yeah, but Johnny, when I'm talking about acceptance, is like you can accept what happens, and you can also accept that you may have a role in making.
Of course, yeah. That way, yeah.
You can accept. Acceptance also means that you can accept that you're part of the change, you know, and you're part of the process of going to a place that's different. So to me, acceptance has all of that. But of course, my view of this, the whole album and the whole creation, will always be more linked or more tied to my personal experience with my kid, you know. Of course that I will be more in there, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I'm more in there, actually.
I feel like acceptance, when we accept like what you said, that we have a role to play in the world, but also accepting the situation itself, that to me is the ultimate quest of freedom, I've always thought.
Okay.
And it's fair to say, like, that this record is almost like a soundtrack to both the darkest days and the brightest days, right? I feel like, you know, when I think of this album, I think it's an album that could share people's joy, but also share people's grief at the same time.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, totally. You were saying that sometimes I don't know if you said these words, you know, like sometimes I like to listen to some of these songs and just party with my kids, you know. I have 3 more kids than Antonio, who deceased during the process, you know, and I'm not gonna stop listening to these songs and partying with my kids while I listen to this song. The other day I was skating with my younger girl, you know, listening to a song, because it's a song that has a lot of energy and like just brings me up, you know. And but also there are other songs that when I listen to them, I'm immediately drawn to some of those moments when we created those songs, and then I was going I was in my darkest phase, you know. I was going like in deep shit, you know. And so yeah, the record has that, and it's sometimes it's like very complex talking about this record and trying to make a sense out of it, you know, because it has all of that in it.
Yeah. Well, thank you for giving us this music that does resonate with so many people, and thank you for demonstrating strength as well. I think that your strength is what it can very much inspire people through the darkest days that we have before us. So thank you very much.
Thank you for talking to us about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anytime, anytime. Do you feel that like because of all these experiences that this was different from any other album that you've made, or was there maybe any similarities to the making of this album as some of your previous efforts?
Well, maybe we feel different about it. I don't know, but to me it was obviously very different from the other albums. You know, each album has its own story, and I like to look back. You know, we have 4 albums already and 2 EPs, and I like to look back and the, it's like when I listen to the albums, I have memories. I listen to memories, you know, and it's the memories of this album and what we did with this album was, I guess, it was totally different than from the other albums. The third album was an album that was Sonic Debris. The previous was an album that was very intense for us also because we had come from a major lineup change, you know, and we also changed a lot in the process of creating music. It was way more inclusive. That was a very important album for us also. But this was totally, you know, what we were going through, all of us, emotionally and in our lives. It was deeper than the previous one, you know.
Do you think that maybe more doors opened up in the future for like, because there's obviously a lot of self-discovery on the making of this album. Do you think that, and obviously I'm asking this way too far in advance, being that this record just came out a month ago, but like, do you think that maybe that this opened more doors in the future for Miss Lava on to bring in some newer elements for the future?
Well, we've talked about what are we going to do now, you know, in terms of creation. And we have, I don't know if it was this morning we were talking, Johnny, last night.
Yeah.
You know, we've started talking, and that's also different. We've never started talking so early into the process. We don't have one riff for what's coming next. And that's also very challenging, you know, in a way of stimulating, you know. We don't know what will happen next, but Johnny and I and Garcia, the drummer, Ricardo also, of course, we started talking about concepts, you know. Garcia suggested this concept, and then we started talking, and now Johnny was saying, I've been listening to a lot of this and that, you know, maybe with this concept, this type of sound. I don't know. I don't know where this will lead us, you know, and it's all very challenging.
Yeah, but like you said, it opens the door to try even further different ideas, weird and different, and to go to places we've never been before. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Just talking about this at this point, we've never done it before, you know. So so it's cool. I think this band has also been always been moved by doing things we haven't done before, you know.
Yeah, I consider, like, if I had to, like, because, you know, with the periodic table of heavy metal subgenres and all these different styles that are out there, but like I just consider Miss Lava's music to almost just be like experimental. Like, I always feel like trying new things was just never an obstacle for you, right? It seems like you never tried to stick with a formula or a certain sound, right?
Yeah. For instance, when we started, we just had just want to make this band, man. We've never had this like band that we could stuck to, you know, and just like release albums and go out there and play live. And of course, we had this stoner rock that was like all of us were into stoner rock, so we knew we wanted to make a stoner rock band, you know. But the first album came out and we were like playing with everybody and it was great, the reception, you know. And then when we did the second album, we're like, oh, but we also like uh, that old school death metal, you know. So I went and bought that Entombed amp and the Entombed pedal. We wanted to experiment with like those harder sounds, you know. And you feel that on the second album. It's supposed to be a harder sounding record. It's not a death metal record, of course. It's not a metal record, but we were experimenting like that. And when the third album comes out, we were like throwing everything that we could in the mix, you know. When I'm saying in the mix, it's like, yeah, just fuck it, man. We'll try. We'll do what everything that we've always wanted to do. We never had the chance to do. We're just gonna do it right now. And
yeah, we even put a black metal kind of riffs on the
yeah,
songs, and we never experienced that before. The first song, it's almost black metal.
Yeah.
So.
I could see you do a tour with a band like Mayhem, but I could also see you do a tour with a band like Baroness or Mastodon or something like that. Like, I think the sky's the limit.
We've played with everybody, man. We've opened for Entombed and a Vols. That's a band from Spain, I think, a death metal band. But we've also played with Slash, you know, and as we've played with All Them Witches. So it's like we go everywhere, actually.
All Them Witches is awesome. I saw
cool.
them in 2019, and they were awesome.
Yeah, I saw them too in 2019 in Germany.
Yeah, they're just so much fun to see live.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, you'll definitely have a couple cocktails at their show, but that's the whole point. So before we go, I want to thank you both so much for your time today. I really enjoyed this conversation, and I really think that our viewers and your fans, this is the words of wisdom that you offered, both in this album and in this interview, I think is going to really encourage people to push forward and triumph over this turmoil. Is there just anything with Miss Lava that you would like to promote? Maybe like a live stream performance to hold us over? Or is there any chance you could come to the States when all this bullshit is over?
Rafa.
We're
Pointing the things at each other?
No, we always do this, you know. I don't know. We're talking about doing a live stream, possibly in May, but we want to figure it out how it will go, you know, because we've never done it. So that will happen, but we can talk about it right now. And we have some shows in Spain booked for May. I don't know how it will go. It's right now. It just seems too close to have live shows, you know. But let's see how it go. Let's see how it goes. Just talk to us, you know, on social media or whatever. That's what I can say to people, you know.
I would love to go to the States, but I don't think we are that well known in the States. The States are so massive, so big. So I don't know if we have a market there. So
you need to come to Brooklyn, New York. Play at St. Vitus, and you'll definitely have something there. We'll have a good time.
I heard about that place. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's the place. Like I said you're experimental metal. You have the black. You also are St. Vitus material. Like that's what I say. Like when I heard this band, I was like, this band, I can't picture them playing anywhere other than St. Vitus. This is the place that they need to play.
Yeah. But I heard that St. Vitus, sometimes a band plays in the same gig. A band plays with full house, and then another band enters the stage and it empties. The place empty.
I don't know. That's how it works sometimes, especially because they have like two shows at the same day, like a matinee show and then that show. So like fans leave, then new ones come in. It's always just a good time at St. Vitus.
Yeah, I'm very curious. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go there someday.
I will smuggle you guys into this country to make it happen. I'll be waiting. Thank you. I'll be waiting for you on the coast of Coney Island.
Cool.
But thank you guys so much, everybody. Miss Lava, check out Doom Machine if you haven't already. This is Alex from Heavy New York, and we will see you next time.